This is the Soul Holla podcast.
Every week, we bring you mystical accounts from forgotten folklore to the fringes of consciousness.
Exactly. If you have ever felt there was more to this reality than what you are being told, you've come to the right place. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Brenna, and we are your hosts on this weekly journey. Welcome to Soul Holla. So this week, we are talking about a really interesting story. I heard it about, did you catch the year on that one? Was it about 15 years ago? 10 years ago?
Well, I think he said, 2009.
So it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think maybe recorded in 2010.
So it's been a little while. But this thing is a banger. It's a
So
pretty
cool.
exciting story. Again, we're gleaning again from Whitley Strieber's Unknown Country, one of his podcasts. Way back when. We both listened to it again, and Rachel for the first time, me for the first time in 15 years, and we're going to talk about that because it is pretty phenomenal. You want to start us out there, Rachel?
Sure. Yeah, and I remember you talking to me about this particular podcast. Oh my gosh, back when you lived here. So it was and it's kind of definitely stuck in my mind as something that's, worthy of fringe and out there and talking about. So
yeah. It's one of those stories that, like, once you hear it, you can never not know it. You're like, it'll pop into your head for the rest of your freaking life.
Yeah, so Whitley Strieber does us a solid by interviewing Alan Lammers. He's a man who's I think he called himself Aboriginal, and he moved to Bali, living in Indonesia. So this story is coming from all the way over there.
Yep, and he's a Canadian.
He's a Canadian man. Yeah, Sulawesi. That's where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, Indonesia, Sulawesi. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is that an island or is that the region? That's what I couldn't quite figure out.
Yeah, when I looked it up,
I
saw. Okay, Remind me this. Okay, so when I looked it up, and there's like these little out things that you can look at, like
it's a yes or no question.
It's a yes. I don't think it is an island. I think it is an island, but the area is not an island. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Okay, that's kind of, I had it in my head. It was an island, but it was like a region too, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go for it.
So here he is. He's telling us a story about this tribe out in Indonesia who do not wear anything but black.
And did you tell the folks why he's there? He's a radio engineer.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
He works with NGOs, which back in the day when I heard this originally, I was like, oh, NGOs, how cool. Now what I know about NGOs, some of them aren't so cool, but let's just say this one is on the up and up. And this NGO, basically he was working with these NGOs to bring bring technology to some more rural parts of Indonesia. And so he is a engineer by trade, I believe, and he goes to these remote spots and finds the best spots to put up radio towers.
Oh, okay. Right on. I'm glad you shared that. Yeah.
Yep.
So he was before he went there, there's the setup. He's getting a small stipend, but the exchange rate is really good. So he's kind of, set up to be there for a while. And they sent him a packing list, and they said really black or white, but no colors, and especially not yellow. Do not bring any yellow clothing. Your best bet is black, and second best is white.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, yes. So that's what starts this whole crazy story off, is that he was told, Yep, you're going to be in this very rural area, setting up these very rural spots for radio towers, and whatever you do not wear color when you go to the jungle. Dun, dun, dun. And he's like, what? Like, why? Like, huh? What? But he said he didn't resist. He's like, oh well, maybe it's just their. He thought it was maybe a cultural thing, like he's gonna be on these. He's gonna be with these, kind of indigenous folks out there in the middle of nowhere, and he thought it was just their thing. They just don't do color, whatever. So
Well, and the funny thing is when I was listening to this podcast, I was walking on my lunch break, and he just talked about the part where he was like, so he had already bought a yellow raincoat for the area, but then something popped up where I don't know, maybe he got the list afterwards or something, but he had to return the yellow raincoat because
and somebody told him, no, you can't bring that with you. And he's like, well, no, it's rainy there. It's very humid. It's very rainy. It's I need this rain jacket. And they're like, no, you can't bring a yellow rain jacket. So he returned it. Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. So he returned it, and shit you not, sorry, I don't know. Kid you not, he
I heard you the first time.
I was walking and I turned a corner. Yeah, I was walking and I turned a corner. What do I see? A woman wearing a yellow raincoat. And
oh, really?
I took a picture and I sent it to you because I was like, yeah, you saw.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I just listened to that
That's
part.
random
I was on
nodding
my lunch,
right
I was walking
there.
back to work and I turned the corner, and there she was. Wearing a yellow rain jacket, like full on, like what you would see somewhere in Indonesia.
That's so funny
because it's super rainy.
That's like
oh my
confirmation.
Gosh, that's
like,
so cool.
Yep, girls, talk about this next week. It's a good story, y'all. Yeah. It's fascinating. Yep. It's gonna blow your mind, really. And it's real. It's you can say, oh well, no, it's not real. Yeah. Well, that's fine. That's your choice. You can go ahead. You can poo-poo on everything. Well, it's your choice. But this guy's legit. Yeah, but we try to do our due diligence to actually look these places up, try to like cross-reference, try to like make sure that this is legit. And also, I've been listening to Whitley Strieber for so long that, like, not only does he have his own stories, the guy is a plethora of...
Yeah, people come to him because they know that he'll air.
Yeah, and he's legit. So anyway, this is a cool story. All right, so let's cut to he's finally there. Like, he's there, he's gonna go...
Yeah.
He's going to go out in the woods.
Yep. He chose to be all black.
Yep.
He's like, I'm just going to go with all black clothing.
Nope.
Not even going to mess with the white.
And so, and he's allowed to wear white as well, but he's like, nope, I'm just going to do all black, whatever. I don't understand, but I'm just going to go for it. So everybody wore black that day, maybe a little white, but except for one guy. And he had big...
they went out for to look for something. Yeah, to look for a place.
Yeah,
for
they were out
probably.
surveying or whatever they were doing, and they're very remote out there. And one of the guys that was the worker coming with wore some big ass soccer socks all the way to his knees that were bright, probably neon yellow. They said yellow, but I mean, if you've seen soccer, I mean, yeah, a lot of times they're massively like bright. But anyway, he wore them, and he did it on purpose. Now, nobody really said much because the guy that we're talking about, the main character who's telling this story, the engineer, if you will, he didn't even question the guy. He's just like, it's a younger guy, like, whatever. I heard the stories, but go ahead.
Sorry. The way he described this guy, he was pretty out there and like very like loud and a little talkative, pretty fun guy, just going for it. He's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna see what happens.
Yeah, and they didn't really think much of it because I don't know that any of them, other than the locals, believed any of it. Like, you can't wear yellow socks. I mean, why not? Like, what's the sock boogeyman gonna come get me?
Ooh, the boogeyman, yeah.
The boogus. Yeah, that's another. That's how where the story of the boogeyman came
The
in. That's
tribe.
it's also part of
Very
the
fierce.
story.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll maybe touch on that at the very end. But anyway, so they go out there. This guy that has the yellow socks.
Boom, boom, boom. They're walking through the
Boom, boom, boom,
forest.
boom. They're walking through the forest. They
Well,
basically spend the day
rainforest
out.
probably.
Yeah, yeah. So they're done for the day. They come in for the night, and this guy that was wearing the yellow socks is just sick as a dog.
He's
And
quiet at first. Yeah.
he's quiet, kind of sticking to himself,
Uncharacteristically.
but then this engineer guy, he's just like, and then I've never seen anything like this. He goes, I don't want to gross your audience out, but he projectile vomited 5 feet through the air.
Super
Because I've
sick.
never seen that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, super duper sick.
Yellow sock
And
guy.
the guy, yellow sock guy, and the guy admitted that he didn't want to say anything. He knew that he wasn't supposed to be wearing that color sock, but he did it anyway because that's just, I would have probably done the same thing, to be honest. I'd probably go out there and put some hot pink on or something. Like, I know myself. I would tempt it. I would tempt fate. I know myself. So I'm with this younger guy. All right, I'm with the younger guy. I would have done it too. But anyway, he knew he wasn't supposed to, but he says he didn't say anything. But on the way back, when they were traveling back down to the village or wherever they are, he said he was bit really hard, once on the calf and once on the thigh.
And he had bite marks.
And then he got, and then he got violently ill that night.
They like had to nurse him. Like they had to like really tend to him to keep him alive. It sounded like. Didn't that sound like that to you?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were like, we don't know if this guy's gonna make it. I mean, like he is like on death's edge, you know.
Super dehydrated.
So anyway, yep, like he had been gone forever, but like he wasn't, or he doesn't remember. But anyway, bottom line is,
interesting that you
the next
point that out. He could have.
Yeah, he could have.
Interject
because
one thing too?
It's very indicative of that last person that we'll talk about at the end. Of the condition that he was in. So go ahead.
True.
Yep.
Well, and our main Alan, the guy who is telling the story, he came back and he did have like he said his like from the knee down was covered in leeches. So there's like, you know, it wouldn't be that unusual for something to feel like something's biting you, and it sounds like.
Yeah.
But the bites were everybody saw them, and he then got sick, almost died. Boom. Okay. Back to you, Brenna.
Yeah, he was covered in leeches, because that's just the kind of jungle is. That's just, you're right. It's like, oh, well, something bit me. Yeah. Well, but Alan said that when he looked at the guy's leg, the thigh and the calf, it didn't look like bite. I mean, these things were huge, which you'll understand why in a little bit. These things have huge mouths.
True.
Dun, dun, dun. I know, but
spoiler alert. Yeah, because he thought maybe it was a snake. Like he's like, that's.
He kept thinking there's big snakes. The biggest snake ever recorded on planet Earth is from that same exact area. Okay. So he's like, oh, a snake got him, or, you know, people disappear, because that was another thing. He got there and people were like, oh, people just
that's
disappear.
right. Why do you not wear colors? Oh, because people disappear.
Oh,
Yeah,
people
that's the
disappear.
answer.
Why? So you don't wear any colors in
No.
the jungle? No. Why? Because you won't come back. You might never. Your family might never see you again. You know. So, and he said at the end, he goes, and it's their way of life.
Yeah.
They literally like have family members go out in the woods, make a mistake, wear a color, whatever. And sometimes when they're dressed all in black, they get taken as well. So it's not written in stone that you wear color, you get taken. But like, bottom line is, people go disappearing and the family just accepts it and moves on with their life. He said that it's just...
No, I was just going to say that it's such a thing that the government won't even organize a search party.
Yeah.
Like the families have to raise money and do it themselves, because they won't go chasing these people that disappear.
That's an interesting...
it would cost a lot of money
Yeah.
if you chased everybody down, and then what's the return rate? Not great.
Not great.
Like, very few people do they actually find.
Well, and what's weird, and I'm glad you brought that up because I hadn't put that together. I put it together as like, oh, well, it's a third world country. They don't have search and rescue, part of the government stuff, and that. But they might. He said that they actually do. But in these cases, no, they have to raise their own money and get their own rescue. And I wonder if it's because the sheer amount of the people that he's like, it's a normal thing. Your family members will disappear and you'll never see them again. And people mourn and then they move on. And then that's just part of their life there. It's just weird.
He also said they didn't really talk about it that much. He said the people there, like, it's a known thing.
Yep.
That people disappear, but they don't, it's not something that people just chit chat about.
No.
Or, oh, my Uncle Jerry disappeared. Oh, so did my Aunt Laverne. Like, no, they don't do that. Yeah. So this guy there occasionally people do get found and returned to their family. Now, they might not be the same person they were when they left. They might have PTSD. They might be like look like they've been gone a lot longer than they were. Like, it's not like, oh, we found him and everything's good. It's kind of sketchy. So they did find when they did find this one guy that we'll tell you about in a minute, they said that they asked him to draw the thing that he saw, because he was able to see them, and like it sounded almost like little kids could see them better, and this guy I kind of thought was maybe a little bit younger that they found.
Well, and also another thing that they all say is that they dart.
They're super fast. Yeah.
Like you see them for 1 second, boom, you see them over.
Almost like they can portal or something.
Yeah. It's I don't think they're comfortably living in third density on planet Earth. I think they're probably fourth density beings that kind of morph in and out. That's why they can grab you and all of a sudden you're not seen, and you might be standing right next to your person you just hiked to the woods with, but they can't see you anymore. You're out of phase.
And I was wondering if maybe they're a cousin of the pixie, because here, and the folklore here, like fairies generally okay, pixies, they kind of have sharp teeth, and they're a little bit, they're mischievous, super mischievous. Don't mess with the pixies. And so I, in my mind, kind of thought, I wonder if they're cousins.
Yeah, no, it could be because most people, it seems, don't come back when they disappear, but they do. There are people that do come back, and then they say these little things. They they helped me out. They tried to heal me on the others in their area, And they saw. Oh, here's another interesting thing: is when people get brought into their quote unquote realm, if you will, for lack of a better way of describing it, they see animals that don't exist on planet Earth.
And colors are brighter.
It just,
yeah. What was the animal that they?
He said it was he goes, the closest equivalent would be like a reindeer or a caribou. He said it was huge. It's bigger than a horse. Huge, almost like a moose, but not a moose. He said it. He goes, it doesn't exist on planet Earth. It's a whole other.
Well, in Indonesia, especially, like in the rainforest.
Yeah.
Caribou in the rainforest. Nope, that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, these little things are they call them the jinn. Now, the jinn, oftentimes when you hear the word jinn, you think demon or something. Jinn can be a little funky. I believe that they're real things as well. And there's good ones, bad ones, anything in between. But they're mostly they have most of their power within the Muslim community, let's just say. The jinn are something very real to them, sort of like Satan is to a Catholic, or Lucifer is to Catholicism. The jinn are very real to the Muslims. Anyway, so they call these little things the jinn, but it's because they're Muslim. But they also call them Kachatsi.
Kachachi?
Kachachi. Which also kind of translates into little demon.
Or a little person? I wrote down little.
Yeah, it was little. It was little demon, little person, little like rebel rouser, kind of like whatever you want to call them. Demon's probably too strong of a word, but bottom line is they're small. Okay, they're wee people, little. They have black eyes, and they have these crazy enormous. It sounds creepy as hell, in my opinion.
It does.
But these enormous mouths. Like and
huge mouth, barely a nose.
Barely a nose. The mouth is so big that it almost looks like they're grinning all the time, almost like a reptilian. If you look at a snake
or Cheshire cat.
Yeah, that's what he said, like the Cheshire cat. But like if you look at a snake, it looks like it's grinning at you, and then it opens its mouth at you. And a snake mouth is the entire size of its head. It can eat something 10 times bigger than it, And so bottom line is these things have huge, what seem like maybe even snake looking mouths. Like they open their mouth and it's huge. And that's why when he was looking at that guy's wounds, that guy with the yellow socks that went in there, to see if he could get something happening, and he got bit. Well, it didn't look like normal little crescent, bite marks like you would, like if I bit you, Rachel, on your arm, you'd have a little crescent of where my teeth were. These things, he said, that almost looked like huge scratches. Well, that makes more sense of something with a huge freaking mouth.
So that actually is a good segue for
the last story. Yeah, the last story.
The second story that Alan shared. Yeah. Which, it was his cousin. Was it his friend's cousin? I think a friend's cousin, yeah. Who went out with a few people, like 3.
I think there was 5.
I said 5 people.
4 or 5, something. They went camping.
Yeah. And they were going to go camping end of January 2009. They were going to go for a few days.
I have the coordinates if anyone's feeling the urge to disappear off planet Earth.
As Brenna is.
Just comment and I'll send you the coordinates. Grok looked it up for me. But anyway, I got the coordinates where these people disappeared. So anyway.
Back to the story. So these 5 people take off, a little camping equipment, food for 3 to 4 days, I think he said, end of January 31st to be exact. They were not back by February 12th. Nobody had seen them. And true to form, they had to form their own search party, gather money, get people to go look for them. They did. People went looking, and they did not find anybody except for the friend's cousin, who he was not in great shape.
Yeah. So he was like emaciated, and he was a mute. He
wouldn't talk.
Yeah. He was a mute. He was traumatized. He had PTSD. He was emaciated. It looked like he only had drank water for weeks and weeks. He had withered away.
Pretty skinny.
Yeah. But when he finally could speak again, what he did say is, these little suckers tried to nurse me back to health. One of my friends was dying, and they tried to teach me to heal my friend, and it didn't ever say what happened. I don't think the friend made it, though.
I don't think so.
Nobody made it back except for him. Yeah. Bottom line is they don't seem like bad guys. They just seem like curious, maybe a little on the naughty side. Well, if we take this human being, they might survive. I mean, no, but bottom line is they don't seem like they were awful. They're not evil. They don't seem evil. They just seem like they're a little bit naughty in that they take, especially with colors. They basically, it's almost like a free ticket to their realm. If you wear color in the jungle there.
Okay, okay. Actually, funnily enough, so I was looking on Google Earth to like look at where these, I don't have the exact coordinates, but I was looking in the area that they told, and there's like little lookout points. Like it's definitely all forested, but they have like these little, it's kind of almost like a tea place, like you can hike up to, and and they have cameras at these places, so there's like photos of people who are sitting there, whatever, from somebody posted a photo, and funnily enough, there are people wearing all black, and there were people wearing yellow. This one guy in particular at one of these little stations, I would call it a lookout with tea, or how, I don't know, somebody's manning these little stations that people can hike to and whatever. He was wearing I think he had a yellow hat on. But I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, okay, so maybe he's not from there, maybe nobody told him, but the fact that he was wearing yellow, which was one of the colors.
That's interesting because that's one of the trigger colors. That's the big no if you don't want to disappear. Like if you for sure want to disappear, then wear yellow, and there's a chance that you could. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up now myself. And
yeah, if you look on the map and then look at the little
maybe it's a thing now.
pin.
Maybe because this podcast was from like 15 years ago, so it's like
it's true.
Maybe it's a tourist thing. Like
okay, well, there you go, Brenna. Your side hustle. Side hustle as a tourist. Oh my god.
You want to disappear and lose some weight?
Oh my god.
It's the perfect diet, You just you go to this other place, and there's these little tiny things that they got these great big mouths, but like you can't eat, and you start withering away. And yeah, it's a perfect diet for those people that just have no willpower.
Can't guarantee spa.
Yeah, if they wrap their cute little mouths around you, yeah, you projectile vomit.
You will projectile vomit out everything you thought you had in you.
But maybe it's a touristy thing now. You never can tell about these things.
They think you're a candy cane. Yeah, you're done. Yeah. So you're right. It might be, is there a tourist industry based on people seeing these things? Because I feel like that's a thing in Ireland, right? Like, because people there, can't remember what percentage of people believe in them and say they're real, and you don't do out things that make them cross, or else shit happens.
And what's cool is that it really all kind of got exposed, and the government got involved, and they actually made laws. You're not allowed to move stone outcroppings when you want to put in Ireland, when you want to put a road in. Really? I don't. Sorry, I don't think it's Ireland. It's either Iceland or Greenland.
Oh well, wait.
I think it's Iceland or Greenland. I think it's Iceland. So basically, they were putting new roads in, and there's an outcrop of rock. And when I say an outcrop of rocks, I mean it's just literally, it's like a big, huge field of nothing. You can see mountains in the background. And there's just this outcropping of like boulders all kind of stacked up on each other, And they're just there, here and there and everywhere. And so what they would do is they would just like, take a piece of dynamite and they'd blow it up and put the road in. Well, all of their equipment, the road department's equipment at night would be vandalized to the point of they couldn't use them anymore. Like none of their rigs would start. Everything got messed up. And then they even put like video cameras up, and they were catching anything, but literally all of their equipment was screwed. And they finally, and I can't remember exactly how they figured it out, but they finally caught something. Little tiny wee people coming out of the rocks and screwing with them, putting like sugar in the gas tank and doing weird shit, to their equipment. And so the government had to get involved and say, from this point on, no more moving the rocks because the wee people want to live there. And so they go around them now.
So the roads are built around them. Huh.
In Bhutan, which is way up near Nepal, way up into the Tibet. I think it's butts up against Tibet, up into India. In Bhutan, also, the government got involved, and the Yeti is a protected animal and they will not tolerate people messing with a Yeti. Like, period.
Wow. Because A, they exist, and B, you don't mess with them. Interesting.
A, they exist for sure. They absolutely say this is a protected animal in our country. No messing with the Yetis. Yeah, so that's part of their law as well. So it's interesting that more and more of this quote unquote fake, phony, and false folklore is just true. And it always has been. And it's never gone anywhere. It's people in Pakistan. I for a while, years ago, 20 some odd years ago, I was reading travel books. It was a couple couples, and they were way, way up in the Himalayas, but in Pakistan. Pakistan has some of the Himalayas up there as well. And there's people up there called the Hunza people. They're indigenous of that area, and the men father children with their sperm up into like 100 years old. The people live really long. They drink mineral water from the glaciers there, and it keeps them young. And it's really interesting, but that's not part of this fairy story. But basically, in that same area, these two couples were there, and the folks kept talking about, oh, you guys, you messed yourselves up. And they're like, why? And they're like, well, your Western mind, you've screwed everything up for yourselves. They're like, why? And they're like, you don't see anything anymore. You've convinced yourself that nothing exists, and so it doesn't anymore for you. And they're like, and so they blah, blah, blah. What are you talking about? Bottom line is these local yokels way up there in the Hunza, in the Himalayas in Pakistan, they see fairies all the time. These little wee people again. I don't know if they have the big mouths and the black eyes. Probably part of the same bunch of little beings. Who knows? I don't know, but they see them all the time. They're everywhere. They've never left. We've always coexisted with them. And so I can't remember if it was the woman or the man. One of the couples went out and just really tried to I open myself up to you. I really want to see. I want to believe. And she said for a second out of the, that quick, out of the corner of her eye, she saw a little guy. So she was able to actually open up enough to see. But anyway, so little sidebar. I don't know how we got on that subject.
If you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you so much more. You're our people. You're our people if you made it all the way to here and you're hearing this.
All right, everybody. Until the next time. Thanks for listening and take care.
Yes, thanks for listening. So
Holla.